Good morning, guys. Kori here. It's Monday. And it's like a torrential downpour here in San Diego. And as you can see, I am dressed rather warmly because it's, okay, I'm a whip. Yes. But it's actually chilly and windy and there's a flood warning. And my mom was so kind this morning. She lives in Montana, but she keeps track of the weather for me here in San Diego and emailed me the flood warning. So I'm prepared. I have my umbrella. But it's Monday, and that means it's Motivational Mastery Day. I went round and round about what to call this one because it's multifaceted. And originally I went with, are you making macro mistakes? And then I thought, that's too simple. Like, well, maybe we need to keep it simple. But I changed it to, goals are bigger than body fat. Let's look at this mastery session as one that pertains to goals in general, but you can apply the principles toward your weight loss goal, whatever your weight-related goal is, whether it's fat loss, whether you're trying to increase your strength and gain weight, whether you're trying to maintain your weight. So let's dive in. Here is the email that I received from a client of mine. I am overwhelmed that I am still at 223.6 pounds. Not kidding. Despite keeping macros this close, she said. Cardio going fine. I kept up my cardio while I was on this trip that I took. I'm still doing it. I'm doing yoga twice a week. I'm doing a push-up challenge. I'm pressing on. But, big but, I'm thinking this might be it for me. I'm pressing on, but I'm thinking this might be it for me. And the image I have in my head is you're pushing on the brakes and you're pressing on the gas at the same time. How well is that going to work, right? She said, the missing data is not significant as I'm always measuring, checking. Always measuring, I'm always checking. I just didn't track for a meal. I'm always measuring and always checking, followed by I just didn't track for a meal. Okay. But this is becoming very natural to me, and I don't binge or pine for foods anymore, she said, but I'm not losing. So there was a little bit of a recognition of how things have shifted for her in a very positive way. We need that. But I'm not losing. I suspect from our responses, she said, that you feel I'm missing something or not catching things. But I don't think so. I'm pretty obsessed. Only weighing every other day, though, because the number still has the power to send me low. So she'd sent me like a week's worth of tracked food logs, but there was a lot of data missing. So I created this summary spreadsheet that would allow both of us to see, on this date, this was the proteins, carbs, and fats you met, right? And total calories. And I did that for an entire week, and we got the averages. And we saw that there was at least 2 days worth where there was no real data. And so I asked her about those, and we're getting into the discrepancies between what she says is happening and what is actually happening. And I encouraged her to not throw her efforts away. Everything that was happening right there in that moment when she emailed me, I had to recognize, you know what, she's in the moment feeling frustrated. She's saying she's not going to give up. There's this battle inside of her, like good versus evil. She has this very, very big, important, meaningful goal that she wants to accomplish and work towards, and deep down understands that she needs to focus on this moment right now and the process as opposed to the outcome. And then there's the discouragement, like she's still focused very, very keenly on the result, need the result. And she wants it now, and she wants it immediately, and she wants those little rewards along the way, which can be pretty helpful, and part of that can be slowing down long enough to recognize everything that you've shifted and gained and the changes that you've made that now, when we're frustrated, we can put into place. So I wanted to find out, okay, you know what, when you started, what were you doing that was working really well? Because I'm not so sure that the accuracy is there that you were implementing when we first started. Now, it's possible, but I had the data in front of me and it wasn't there. So we went back and forth around that, and she did admit there was some guesstimating, and when she would go out to dinner, there was some food items that she just wouldn't look up because she'd be like, I can't find it. And we need that objective data in order to know what is happening and what next best step to take. I could just say, okay, we'll change your macros to, this much proteins, carbs, and fats, but how am I going to know if that's even necessarily going to make a difference if she can't meet the macros that I've recommended already? So we've got all that, guys. We've got this practical stuff, but when we're looking at a big goal, we have to also look at the adaptive pieces of that puzzle. So we have practical, like behavioral, what am I going to do? What actions am I going to take? And then we have the adaptive, which is, how emotionally intense is this goal for me? Like, how important is it? And I want to encourage you guys to ask yourselves, when you are leaning towards pursuing a dream, pursuing a big goal, ask yourself, like, who do I want to be as I'm pursuing this goal? Who do I want to be as a person? How do I want to act? Like, what's my integrity here? Because that's going to be binding, especially in those moments where you're considering making a not so great decision. So there's two concepts here that I think are really important. And they're plateaus, okay, and purpose. All right, let's start with purpose, because I think we hear this word thrown around a lot. What's your purpose? What's guiding you? That, even for me, like, what's your purpose in this life, Kori? I don't freaking know. I can tell you what my purpose is moment to moment much better than I can tell you what my purpose is in life. Because it changes. My purpose changes in different contexts, in different environments, with different people. Now, what's different, or what stays constant, is who I am as a person, what my principles are, what makes up my integrity, okay? Integrity is a big, massive, juicy word, and I want you guys to ask yourselves, where does my integrity come from? If I were to list 3 traits that embody what my integrity is about, what are they? So here's the thing. If your goal is to lose body fat, is your purpose to lose body fat? Well, okay, on a very superficial level, literally, yes, it is. My purpose is to lose body fat. Well, I'm here to tell you that if your only purpose is to lose body fat, then your level of persistence for this pursuit is going to plummet rather precipitously. Ooh, say that 4 times fast. So you're nodding out there going, yes, my goal is to lose body fat, Kori. And I'm telling you that, well, of course it is. But if that's where your purpose ends, then that's where your motivation ends too. That's where your sense of vitality ends. That's where that energy that you initially had when you decided to pursue the goal ends. It dies, okay? It's going to peter out really fast. So your purpose has to be bigger than your end point. And so if it's a certain number on the scale, that's fine. You know what? If your goal is to earn a certain salary, I have clients that I work with all over who have different goals like that. If it's to acquire a certain partner, there's this person out there that you have your eye on and you want that person. A sales quota, whatever it is. If you want to feel like you're trudging through quicksand every moment of the day as you're pursuing this goal, this dream, if it's focused on image, if it's focused on status, you're probably going to be pretty disappointed. If image and status, reputation are at the forefront of your goal, discouragement is not far. Lack of motivation, energy, vitality, it's not far away. But if you want to perform at the pinnacle of your potential and you want to feel successful, and I define successful as having that high quality intensity of persistence to keep going, even when it gets hard. That's what successful means. It's enduring momentum, okay? If you want that, then you have to, you get to, go watch a previous episode. You get to identify with your goal from the inside. Your purpose is your potential, your principles, your belief system, who you want to be as a person, okay? So you have to ask yourself some questions, some big questions, in order to get at the heart of your purpose. And I'm going to encourage you to ask yourselves a question that you may not have thought of. Because we're talking a lot about my goal, my purpose. You know, how come I'm doing this? How is this important to me, right? It's all me. Well, something that could probably bolster the intensity of your purpose, of your motivation, of your energy to keep going, that momentum when it gets a little tough and challenging, is to ask, who are the other people affected by my goal? And by pursuing this, and by getting closer and closer to accomplishing it, and by going through this process, and by overcoming challenges, who's affected? Who's influenced? Who else is impacted? And on the flip side, if I were to say, okay, forget it, like, I give up, this is where it ends, I'm tired, like, my motivation is in the toilet, who is affected? Who else is counting on you? If you're a parent and you're losing weight, and I have a few of these who really understand how their families are going to be influenced by them losing and or giving up on a goal of getting healthier. So ask yourselves who in your life is going to be impacted if you stopped pursuing the goal. Okay? And then let's come back to, again, how can I view this goal as practice for becoming my best self? What does that best self look like? How does my best self act? How does my best self overcome challenges? Okay? Really quick, we got to get to plateaus. They're important too. I think a lot of us define plateaus as this kind of space of flatlining. Like it's this neutral place, nothing is happening, we have zero momentum, and on a practical level that may be true, but again, coming back to the adaptive emotional level, we need to look at plateaus as this space of opportunity, okay? And it's a space where we can say, okay, I get to breathe here. I get to breathe. I get to process how far I've come. I get to look at what I've accomplished so far and from multiple perspectives. Physically, emotionally, psychologically, intellectually, relationally, because in all of these different contexts and environments, something has changed. What has changed in a positive way? Plateaus our opportunity to assess these things. I think of it like, I go back in my mind to the last big hike I took. It was last Labor Day. And it was a 16-mile hike, and the first 8 miles were all uphill. It was tiring. It was arduous, and I just kept saying, I'm almost there. I'm almost there. I'm almost there. And staying very present. And when I finally got to the top after 8 miles, it was glorious. Guess what? I got to rest. The hike wasn't over though, okay? Going downhill can be a lot rougher. But when I got to the top, guess what? I got to look out at the vast expanse and survey how far I had come. I got to take a mental, an emotional, a physical assessment of what I had done and how far I'd come so far. A plateau is our opportunity to do that, okay? Then we regroup. We ask, okay, what am I capable of? Look how far I've come. Now, am I and how can I move forward with the next best step that's aligned with my potential and purpose? So we have to look at them in tandem. So I want to end with a quote, guys. And I always come back to kind of this concept of how powerful our thinking is and feeling. The quality of our inner dialogue, go back to that original email I read at the start, determines the quality of our actions. What we believe, what we say, will come out and be manifested in the actions that we will take. All right, go forth, have an awesome Monday, even in a more awesome week. Thanks, guys.